Hey everybody, I'm Ryan Belinak, the Director of Growth and Development at Keller Williams Downtown. And today I have the pleasure of sitting with one of my rock star agents and dear friends, Carlos Escobar. Carlos, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome, my friend. Carlos has been an agent for a long time, so I would love to kind of turn it over to you to start.
Yeah.
And just tell us a little bit about your career in real estate.
Sure. I started in real estate in my mid-20s. Been doing it now for quite some time, since 2000. Started in the mortgage business, got into the real estate business. I started at a mom and pop firm, went into a small brokerage that was just great to start off with. My friend and mentor who got me into the business was there, so that's where I went. And then I got my managing broker license, did it on my own for a little bit, and then got recruited by a team leader that was at the Keller Williams Downtown office at that time. And it took me about a year to make a decision to move over to KW. And that was probably back in about 2008 or so that I made the transition to come. Actually, no, that was 2010 that I made the transition to come to KW. And so came to KW, and you know, that started my real estate career. That really started and impacted my real estate career the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
At an interesting time too, because that's also when the recession hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Recession hit about 2008, and real estate was starting to ramp up. We had the tax credit, the $8,000 tax credit. Home prices were probably about $150,000 average sales price at the time. And it was a good time to get into real estate for sure.
Yeah. I actually think it was. That's around the time that I got into real estate.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, a lot of agents that got in when the market was just bustling,
Right.
you know, are now having a hard time because they didn't learn the hustle. I think those of us that were in that market really learned how to get in the trenches for sure.
Yeah, I have this thing about getting into career paths when things are happening. You know, when I got into the mortgage business, it was just a few months into it, 9/11 happened. And so it was just craziness. Rates went up like crazy. But oddly enough, the economy stayed well and real estate stayed steady. But rates went crazy. And so that did affect business in the mortgage side of things. And then when I decided to get into real estate, complete market meltdown. And real estate crashed. But I saw opportunity, so I jumped in. In the mortgage side, I couldn't get loans approved, but a lot of people were selling their houses because they needed to get out. And so that's what caused me to make the jump.
I didn't realize that we actually shared that kind of a story where we seem to have the same path where we always get into things when everybody else is looking around going, what are you doing? And we'll claw and scratch our ways to the top. Awesome, man. Well, one of the things that I want to highlight today is you have kind of a unique story as it pertains to Keller Williams. And that is that you actually left Keller Williams Downtown a few years ago and decided to go check out a different brokerage. And I would love to know a little bit about what it was about that opportunity that presented itself that was really appealing and made you say, hey, you know what, I want to go try something different.
Yeah, you know, one of the things at the time I had been at this office already for 12 years, right? And so like anybody else, you just kind of start wondering, is there something else? You know, you stay at an office long enough and you just feel like, okay, maybe I need a change, right? And that's kind of where I was. I had done the whole Keller Williams thing. When I came to Keller Williams, I was probably about a $4 million producer at the time. When I left Keller Williams, I was about a $20 million producer.
Awesome, yeah.
And so Keller Williams really impacted my business. And a lot of people say, well, you know, they're known for new agents. And I think that is definitely a piece of what Keller Williams does, is train agents really well. But once you get trained well, which I believe it or not, by the time I got here, I was 4 years in the business, right? I was 2 years at a small mom and pop firm. I was 2 years as a managing broker, got my managing broker license, opened my own office, and had about 5 agents with me. And then I came here, and I was only a $4 million producer, but at that time it was a producer, right? Yep. It was 2008. You were doing okay. Yeah. You were an average agent at that point in time. And I saw what agents were doing here, and I was like, wow, there's agents that are brand new, but there's some killer agents that are producing mega amounts of money and closing so many deals that it gave me inspiration to want to learn and how to do that business and do what they do. Mm-hmm. And still to this day, some of those agents are still in this office. Mm-hmm. And so I learned a lot from those agents. And those agents, believe it or not, impacted my business a lot because, one, they motivated me. Some of them may not even have known this or may not know it yet. And two, they were the culture of Keller Williams really just was very unique, right? Mm-hmm. Every office is different, but I think that the overall theme about the Keller Williams culture is, we want to help people. We want to help people share, and agents are willing to share, right? And there's a big community, which is hard to find.
Yeah.
You go to another competitor office, and they might be a big name just like KW, but here you do regional, events, and all these agents get together. They do regional training, and all these agents get together, and we intermix and meet each other and learn from one another, mastermind with each other. And it just gives you a different perspective, even though you're in a totally different office and the vibe might be totally different from, our downtown office to a west office, for example. But when we're in the same room, it's like we're all willing to help each other out.
Yep.
Which is very, very hard to find.
Yep.
Speaking from experience, because I left.
Yep.
And so when I left, going back to your question, I felt like I had reached a plateau in my business. And I thought, maybe if I leave, it'll help me, increase my business. So I left to a luxury firm.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that I didn't learn, but the culture was not the same.
Okay. Can you speak to that a little bit? Like, what was the culture like there, and what was so different about that culture?
Well, we always talked about culture here at KW Downtown. And because I kind of was raised here per se, right? It's like when being at home, you don't realize what you have until you leave the house. And then you realize like how good it felt to be home, how good it feels to go back home. I still had a lot of friends here. I'd still come into the office every once in a while. I'd still meet up with a lot of the agents that I had built relationships and friendships for many years. And even though my new office was great, it was in Cherry Creek, it was a great location, we had a beautiful office and all the stuff. There was never anybody in the office. There was never any major events that you can get together with. The offices were closed. You only see agents on team meeting days.
Yep.
And nobody was ever willing to share. I mean, you saw there were some killer agents at these offices that are doing a lot of business, especially in the luxury market.
Yep.
But you don't get to interact. It's a closed door. You don't really, it's hard to build a relationship when somebody's not either in the office or has kind of their closed door and doesn't really want to interact with you.
Yep.
And so I found that coldness, even though I had growth there, because anywhere you go, whether you have a good experience or bad experience, you grow from it, right?
Yep.
And I had good experiences and bad experiences there, and I grew from it. And I can't say I had a bad experience, not because something bad happened, but I think the overall process of that, of being there and having been at KW and going there and coming back, the difference of the culture was probably my bad experience.
Yeah.
And what I can speak on that is that everybody's different, but I am very big on environment. Environment influences me in a lot of ways. And instantly, 6 months in, I'm having a killer year.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe how much the environment and the culture of this office instantly made my business go back up.
Right. Because it hasn't been long since you've come back to Keller Williams Downtown, correct?
Yeah, so we're in June. I came back in December. And I had probably the worst second half of a year in my career at my prior brokerage. And that's what made me think, hey, maybe I'm not at the right place anymore.
Right.
There's a saying that wherever you go, there you are. Right. And to a certain extent, that is true. However, the environment that the people you surround yourself with and the culture that you're in sometimes uplifts you, right? When you're having a bad moment, bad time, bad month, being able to come to an office where there's agents here, like we walk into this office, there's always somebody here. There's always not just one, but I'm talking, there's at least 20 people in this office at all times. All those people you're able to talk to, even if it's a coffee pot conversation that you're having a bad day and you're able to go over there and just have a one-on-one and decompress for a little bit. Sometimes that in and of itself helps you clear your mind and forget about your problem for a minute and get you refocused again.
It's really interesting. We talked about this a lot is I don't think people realize when they look at people in the real estate industry, how lonely that business can be sometimes.
Absolutely.
There's so many people that just say, gosh, I feel like I'm floating alone on an island, because really you are your own business owner, right? And the opportunities to get together and collaborate with other agents, especially since COVID, right?
Oh God, COVID changed everything.
Happened, everybody kind of left the offices, people came up with their home offices. And I think it just affected. I've seen that at my former brokerage. I've heard that from other agents, of course, too. Is the culture, the support, the collaboration that you got from walking into an office and being lifted up and being inspired, kind of went away because people stopped coming to the office. Period.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. And for me, being able to come into an office and having I'm an office guy. I can't work from home. I got little kids still at home. Like I can't focus at home. So for me, being able to come to an office, have my desk, have my own space, and work is amazing. And to be able to have people in the office and present is also amazing for me, right? Like it's done big things for me instantly since I came back. And after, I literally, all of us have had good times and bad times. I had, like I said, the worst 6 months of my career last year ever. To the point that I was like, man, am I even supposed to still be doing this? And here I was almost 20 years in the business, doubting myself, like, is this where I'm supposed to be? And it was part of it was just the environment that I was in was not helping me.
It's interesting, Carlos, because I think, 24, 25, with the interest rate changes, with all of the shifts that have happened in real estate, there are a number of agents that have seen their production, that have seen their businesses kind of dip a little bit. And I think a lot of people are kind of looking around now and they're saying, is it the market? Is it the environment that I'm in? Is it the support that I'm getting from my brokers and my management at the office? I think there's a lot of questions that are going on for people.
And I think it's a combination of it all. Right. Like you have to, look, I left KW. You have to self-reflect, and sometimes you do have to make a decision to leave. Right. You never know when the decision to leave might be a great decision and you might be moving to a better firm. But you won't know until you know. And sometimes it is scary to take that step. It was scary for me to leave KW when I had been here 12 years. And, I was, in quotations, known as the mayor of the office. I knew everybody. I had been here. I had recruited a ton of agents to KW. I followed the KW model in a lot of ways that helped build my business tremendously in multiple avenues. Right. And when I peaked, I said, oh, well, maybe I just need to go somewhere else. And really, I can't say that I peaked. I was having high success, but I wanted to break into the luxury market. Right. And I thought, well, maybe if I go to a luxury firm, I want to break into the luxury market. And that's not always necessarily the case. Speaking from experience.
It's interesting. And in my times in leadership, up till this point when I meet with agents, I'm always kind of taken back because people always come to me and they say, I'm a luxury agent, or I want to be a luxury agent. and we talk about their average price point, and we talk about the people that kind of are in their sphere. And I'm like, unfortunately, you can aspire to be something, but if you really want to be a luxury agent, you have to surround yourself and have the community of people around you that are in that kind of a wealth bracket, right? And so a lot of agents are very aspirational, and they think that by going someplace, it's immediately going to attract all of those people to them. And I'm like, that's not really the way it works.
Absolutely not.
Right.
And I had to learn the hard way. I had to figure that out on my own. Right. And if I could share the story, I would never stop anybody from wanting to do whatever they want to do, because you have to try it out, right? It's like having kids. You got to let them fly and spread their wings and figure it out on their own. And sometimes reality hits you pretty hard, and it kind of did for me. I'm not going to say that I didn't take away and learn things from being in that environment, because I did. My listing presentation got better, all that stuff. But at the same time, the one thing that I like about KW is that it's such a big company. They are very good at studying the market, studying trends, studying what other companies are doing, and trying to adapt to make sure that they, bring those same qualities to the office. So, for example, one of the reasons I left was because we didn't have a marketing department. Where I went, we had a marketing department. Well, since having left and coming back, we now have a marketing department, right? And it's not like I pay extra for that marketing department. Where over there, I had a huge split, right? Zero cap, giving a lot of money while not making the most amount of money that I was making, having a down year and still paying a lot of money. And it was just time, like I was like, what am I doing? Why am I giving so much money and I'm not growing?
Right.
Why am I giving so much money and I'm not getting the value? Why am I getting so much money and not feeling like I'm in the best environment possible? And making that decision and realizing that sometimes it's just very difficult.
Yep.
Right. And so for me, having had the relationships that I had, being able to come back and speak to the owner, and, I was interviewing multiple firms, but it just made most sense to come back to KW. Right. And I don't regret having left, because I learned from it, and I love that I was able to come back.
Yeah. Well, we're certainly happy to have you back. It's also really interesting because, again, what good does a really beautiful listing presentation do if you don't have anybody in your sphere to present it to?
Right.
Right. I think that's sometimes what happens is people get there and it's like the lead generation, all of those different things that I think really excel with at Keller Williams.
Well, and sometimes people get caught up, man. I see so many agents, and it's like anything else, the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of the agents in those offices are producing most of the business, and the other 80% are trying to produce it, break into it, figure it out, right? And the sad part about it is that they get so focused on just wanting to be a luxury agent that there's so much other business that's low-hanging fruit that you could still make money on. And you almost get stuck in your head that, I'm a luxury agent, so I don't want to take on that listing. And in an environment where a lot of agents are struggling right now, that could hurt you more than it can help you.
Yep.
Because if you don't have the sphere and you don't have that business, yes, a luxury deal will pay you a lot more. But at the end of the day, I'd rather close 10 small deals and make more than I would have made in that $1 million or $2 million commission.
Yep.
Because I just have the volume, right? And so for me, it just made sense. Like, hey, one, am I going to save more money? Which I did, because now I have a cap, right? Two, I didn't put the blinders on of saying I don't want to do anything else but luxury, because it wasn't my sphere.
Yep.
If it's your sphere, different story. But if you're struggling in the business right now, there's a lot. Look, year over year, the same amount of business that closed last year is closing this year.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And if you're not getting a piece of the pie, then you might need to analyze your business.
Yeah. Somebody else is.
Somebody else is.
Yeah.
That somebody might be me right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I'm getting this, even if I've closed $1 million deals this year and I've closed $250,000 deals, right? I capped instantly almost because of my production. And I'm now getting 100% of my check that comes to me.
Yeah.
And I find it hard that sometimes agents get so stuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, Carlos, you hit on something earlier, and you mentioned kind of the myths, the misconceptions. You know, Keller Williams is a bunch of new agents. So, you know, me being relatively new to Keller Williams, I had the same kind of things. You know, you hear, for any company, you hear things that until you're there, you don't really know. Right.
You were a luxury firm.
Yeah, I was at a luxury firm. So I'm curious, if there were two myths about Keller Williams, what would they be? And what would the truth be if people actually knew?
You know, a lot of people say KW agents drink the Kool-Aid, right? The red Kool-Aid. That we're not just a recruiting company. Yes, like any other office, every office recruits. I mean, that's one myth, right? We're not just here to recruit. Is there a benefit for doing it? Sure. Do you have to do it? Absolutely not. Right? And so you can choose to participate in it. I chose to participate in it over the last 12 years and have made a significant amount of money by doing so, but I didn't have to. Nobody forced me. Nobody twisted my arm. Nobody said you have a quota of that you have to recruit a certain amount of people.
Right.
So we're not, that's not what you're going to have to do if you come to KW. So that's one myth. Myth number two is, oh, there's no top producers at KW. Right? There's no luxury presence at KW. I think what people don't realize is the size that KW is. You know, we're not the company that's out there advertising. We're not the company that's out there, you know, doing commercials. A lot of people don't even realize that Keller Williams is one of the largest real estate brokerages in the world. Right? And for a long time, they were the largest real estate brokerage in the world. And that being said, they sell more luxury real estate than the majority of brokerages combined. Right? Yes, they're all individual franchises. Yes, each office reports numbers as individually, but as a whole, the presence of luxury is probably bigger than most.
Right.
And so there are a lot of benefits of being at a KW office, and it is a well-known brand. And you'd be surprised that, yeah, is it the Liv Sotheby's of real estate? No. But we're not trying to be either. But is there a luxury presence? Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are some very good producing luxury agents in this company that do very well and have done very well for many years and then won't leave because, again, going back to having as much money in your own pocket. You know, what I realized is that the money that I paid at a luxury firm, I could spend half of that and create everything that it was given to me. No problem. Right? And so did I learn from it? Yes. Did I come back and create it? Absolutely. Right? Because now I have a marketing department. I said, hey, take this. Make it KW. Same listing presentation. It's right there. Right? And I'm not paying Goo bucks to have it.
I've said before, Carlos, I would be curious about your take on this, but since I've been here and the things that I've learned about this company, it became really obvious to me very quickly that if every agent knew the exposure, the luxury presence, the offerings, the coaching, all of those things for the splits and the cap, right, that you really get to keep 100% of what you make in a relatively short time if you're producing. I think it would be a no-brainer for any agent to say that's where I want to be.
For
but
sure.
I just don't think people know the extent of what we are and what we do.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that we are so innovative and staying in tune with what's happening with technology, AI, you know, all that stuff. I didn't have any of that training at my other firm. I mean, I'm not saying, let me rephrase that. I had some of that training, but it was not at the level that I got it, that I have it now here. Right? And so sometimes we just get so set in our ways that we don't realize that you just have to make a change to be able to see a difference in your results. Right? Definition of insanity, we all know what it is. keep doing the same thing, expecting the same results, and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you keep doing the same thing and you're not having results where you're at, you just got to make a change and give something else a shot.
Yep.
And KW is a great place to give a shot. I mean, you've seen it. We were at an AI training just recently.
Yep.
That blew my mind. And I was like, wow, And so I think a lot of people need to be a little open-minded right now and stop being set in your ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of opportunity out there to learn something new and be able to look. There's agents in this KW office right now that are brand new, but because they're being trained from the bottom and being trained with how to manage a CRM, how to use technology, how to make drip campaigns for your clients all through the CRM, how to properly market to your clients, because they're learning it the new way. And some of those old dogs are set in our old ways. I'm seeing young agents have success that agents that have been doing this for 10, 20 years are not having. And it's all because they're learning it the new way. And sometimes that's all you got to do is just change your ways.
Yeah. Listen, this market has changed so much and so quickly that the things that we did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, that, either they don't work or things have changed so much. And I had happy hour a couple of nights ago with an agent that I know, and we were chatting about our business, and the topic of AI came up. And I mean, that we talk about AI in depth in this office because it is becoming such a tool that, either we're using it and we're getting on board and we're allowing it to help us build our businesses, or we're going to get lost in the dust. That's just the reality of where we're at. And so we were kind of chatting about what does that conversation look like at your office? And really, it doesn't go any further than it helps me write property descriptions and it can create some imagery. And I'm like, and that really is where a lot of companies have taken that conversation. And I'm like, man, this is not helping our agents. We need to do better. We need to elevate that conversation.
Educate them.
So that agents can actually get on top of it. So my last question for you. Okay. So after 22 years and migrating away from us and then coming back, if somebody was out there right now and their business had plateaued, or they're having that same kind of feeling that you were having when you decided, I'm going to go check something else out, without being too salesy, if you were having that conversation with the agent, what would you tell them if they were considering Keller Williams?
Well, first and foremost, what I would say is if there was even hesitation about considering Keller Williams, I'm assuming that's what you're asking me, be open-minded, Because the myth of what Keller Williams was in the 80s and what it is now is a whole different company. Two, I would say that if you're already struggling where you're at, take the risk of giving something else a shot. Because sometimes what you feel is going backwards, and maybe in your mind it might be a step going backwards, but the value that you're going to get of being here with the training, the technology, the mentorships, the masterminds, the collaboration, the environment the culture that we've built here, you'd be surprised what a combination of all that does for your morale and for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great answer. It's the last thing that I'll say, Carlos, is it's really interesting because you and I actually, I think you started back here. I started here around the same time.
When I came back.
Yeah. And for me, I actually kind of started in boutique, smaller brokerages where truly culture was everything. The company that I was at for a long time dissolved, but there's still agents that get together and reminisce about the good old days of how strong that culture was. And it's really interesting because when I came into a 300 plus agent office, to me, I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I'm walking into this massive place.
Numbers.
What's their culture going to feel like?
Right.
And it's crazy to me because I've shared this story many times. The culture here is the closest thing that I've felt with 330 agents to that smaller brokerage.
To that boutique.
That doesn't exist anymore. So, you know, that feeling, everybody can talk about culture, but until you actually experience it, it's a completely different thing.
100%.
Right.
And I took it for granted. I came into this culture, you know, I was an independent agent, you know, with 5 agents, and those 5 agents were all pretty new. So it's like, we didn't have a culture. When I came here, I wasn't really trained to really know what culture was. When I left is when I realized, oh my God, what we had at KW was really special, especially at this downtown office. Because this downtown office, the beauty about this downtown office is that you have a mix of all types of people here. It's like a melting pot of people. And so you don't just get culture in the sense of office culture, you get culture in the sense of community culture as well. Which is really awesome. You know, it's hard to find in an office. And that in and of itself just gives the office a different vibe, different energy. And I'm sure you noticed that.
Oh yeah. I mean, the diversity here.
Yes.
I mean, when I walked into this office, it was like, oh my gosh, this is the fabric here of different people from different places and different stories.
And all well blended and meshed.
Oh yeah. Right? I mean, it was
everybody, there's community here.
Yeah, it was something that I didn't realize I was craving.
Right.
And I found here really, really quickly. So, listen, my friend, I so appreciate you taking the time.
No, thank you.
To chat a little bit about us, to chat a little bit about yourself. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for being such a huge part of the office and the office culture. And you really are the mayor here still.
No, thank you. And it's been a pleasure. You know, the last 6 months here, you know, we didn't know each other outside of this office, and what you brought to this office has been very special too. You know, awesome. And having a leader like you in the office has been amazing, and you don't get enough credit sometimes. So
I appreciate that.
You're doing a great job, and thank you for
gosh, Carlos, you're making me blush here.
No, I appreciate it sincerely. Like it's been great to work with you, and great to see how this office is growing and developing under your.
Well, likewise, my friend, it's fun because we're creating something really special here, and you are such a vital part of that creation. So
appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Take care.